Welcome back, guys. Another episode. Minnesota left-handers right back at you. We're a little late. It's Saturday. Sunday. We're normally trying to record middle of the week. We both had some stuff going on with life and whatnot. But what better not? I mean, better late than never. I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking about that as you were kind of talking through the intro. It's been a little while since we recorded last, but you know what? It's good to be here because there have been some developments both in the pro game with Minnesota left-handers, and I played an awesome course that I can't wait to tell you about.
I seen some of the pictures. The pictures were didn't. I don't think they did the justice with the fall colors and stuff. And that's one thing about Minnesota that I love because I was out golfing at Riverwood today. 49 on the front, 43 on the back. So I don't know what happened, but the fall colors. We only get a few of these a year, and man, is it awesome to be out there when it's like this.
Oh, and the weather we've had this last couple of days and it looks like even like the next week, I think Tuesday's going to be pushing 80. I mean, this is an October to remember for sure. Everything at this point is kind of bonus days. And so to be able to play also total separate from the podcast plan here. But are you playing on Thursday?
I'm gonna try.
Okay,
Or no,
because
no, no,
it's
I cannot. I can't because it's the Minnesota Wild opener, and I'm going to the game.
geez.
Yeah,
Okay. No,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna try to get out there. I'm gonna play try to get nine. I guess I don't even know what the weather's gonna be, but I am gonna try to get out there. Just kind of keep that consistent as long as the weather's decent and the snow doesn't start flying.
Yeah, you'll golf in any weather. I'm pretty sure.
I will. They don't make those cart gloves for nothing. Those big poofy Titleist, insulated gloves for nothing.
So that's gonna come into the end of the season here. Our days are counting down now. It's gonna lead us into our next upcoming events, which are gonna be at simulators.
Yeah, that was one of the things I wanted to mention as far as upcoming events and some news. We've got some more merchandise as well. Sounds like we got a shipment of towels in, which are gonna come with the price of admission there at our next simulator event. Really our first simulator event as well. We're planning on getting through the holiday season. We know that everyone's busy and I don't know. Me and you we're kind of a unique case. I feel like we think about golf every second of every day, at least a little bit. It comes up, at least every day we think about it at least once. And there are a lot of people who want to put the clubs away, for a little while. And what's the phrase? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. I think if we let people have some time to put the clubs away, they'll be more interested in taking them back out after the holiday season. We get turn into 2023 and start thinking about what that year's going to bring. So January and February, and then I think we'll kind of play it by year after that. I know we want to have an outdoor spring event soon, once the season starts, but maybe another event, maybe another simulator event, possible third, but we want two. Would you say that that's true?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. We'll see how the first one goes, and it's like you said. We'll try and plan that after people the ones that start to miss the game of golf. Not going right into November, December with the simulator event for those guys that haven't had a chance to miss their clubs yet. And
Yeah,
their
no
wives
doubt.
just, I don't know if I speak for your wife, but my wife will be happy that I'm hanging these things up here. So,
Yeah. And then, of course, and we'll talk about this in later episodes, but we are going to Arizona, so they're not hung up for too long.
no.
Um, but yeah, just a quick wrap around here. Balls, towels, all available. And check this out. Got hats rocking
Oh, I
now.
didn't wear my hat.
So that'll come with some of your admission to your simulator events that we're gonna have here. So the best place to find us obviously is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Follow, like, subscribe in all those places so that you can be connected and keep in touch. If you want to get to me, another way to do that is Minnesota Left-Handers at gmail.com with questions about upcoming events or anything like that. My Instagram is full of photos from where I played yesterday, but don't head over there yet, because I want to tell you all about it too. So, quick set list for today's podcast. I want, the obligatory live talk. Seems like that's, never gonna quite go away. The game of golf is just, I don't know, imploding.
It's forever
Maybe not.
tainted golf talk.
It's um, content seems to be. We're not at a loss for content. We'll put it that way. So a little bit of live talk here. I'm going to talk about the course I played, and then if there's time, which I think there will be, I think we should definitely make time. You've got a new um, endeavor that you'd like to take us on. Tell us about that?
Well, it's. I don't know if you know this, but I got a little bit of a gambling problem. Both times we've been to Arizona, we stayed at casinos. We were getting the sports bets and everything in there. Um, there's this little app called Prize Picks, and basically it's just over unders. Pick 2 up to 5 players, and you pick an over under. Uh, Fairways hit. If you think they're going to birdie a hole, if you're going to over, or if you think they're going to par a hole, over under a par. All this different stuffs. And mind you, I took. Let me just run through this with you really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields today. Would you take the over or the under on 159 passing yards?
Under.
He went over 208. I took the over.
Okay.
Austin Eckler against Cleveland. Over under 52 rushing yards.
I would have said over.
I took the over as well. Tom Brady. Over under 26 pass completions.
Oh, under.
I took the over. It was 35.
Really?
Cooper.
He completed 35 passes
Dude,
today.
yeah. Cooper Rush. Over or under 21 pass
Who?
completions. Cooper Rush.
No, I know. I know. It's just come on. Cooper
He's
Rush.
yeah, dude. He's the star, dude.
I know he is a star. Sorry, I was
Dak ain't
making fun
ever
of
gonna
Cooper
start
Rush, but
again.
what was
Over
the
under 21 pass completions.
oh man. I mean, he's Cooper Rush. Maybe the GOAT. I don't know. I'm gonna say over.
He had 10 completions.
What?
He only had 10 completions. And then Stephon Diggs over under a half a touchdown today. Meaning, do you think he's going to get a touchdown or do you not?
Well, I know what okay, I actually don't know what
So
happened with him. I know the
he
score, so I
he
would have
got a
said over.
touchdown. Right.
Okay.
So, Prize Picks, I put that on there. I don't know if that's focusing. I don't know if you can see that.
It's
But that
not, yeah,
was
it's
a
blurry.
5 parlay bet that I made and I got
Hmm.
all of them right and I won $300 today
Nice.
on that
Oh,
one
so
bet.
yeah, it was a parlay deal.
Yep,
Cool.
yep. So it's kind of like a parlay, but it's not. All that stuff had to happen for me to win the 300. But if 4 out of the 5 would have hit, I still would have won like $40 or whatever it is.
Right.
So yeah, they
So,
have
but
they have these for golf, and I think on our next podcast, it'd be fun on a Wednesday to get our podcast in and do a few over unders for our listeners to chime in and maybe copy our bets because we're such, with my betting finesse isk. I don't know what word I'm looking for there. And your golf knowledge, Prize Picks is going to be in trouble.
I'm I'm in. I love it. And let's talk about my sports betting prowess. You mentioned that we stayed at a couple casinos in states where betting is legal. Let's get on that Minnesota legislature as soon as possible. I don't know if you're listening, but let's get on that. Let's legalize this. Anyway, because I wanna give my money away. Apparently, man, I remember one of the bets. The Pack played the 49ers last year. I don't remember if
Go
it wasn't
Pack,
the
go.
NFC Championship. I think it was a divisional round. Um, but I thought it was a lock. I mean, it was Aaron Rodgers at the time. It was Devontae Adams. Like, how do you against like was it Garoppolo probably starting
Yep,
at I
yep.
was like, it's a lock for the Pack. And then and it was in Lambeau, I think, too. And
Uh-huh.
San Fran went in there and beat him. I was like, this is because I bet on him. So it's just the way it went. My sports betting luck is not good, but I'm hoping to gravy train off of yours. So,
Oh yeah, I'll
um,
fund the operation. We'll just use your brains and your knowledge, and then we'll just go with my gut because I got a pretty good gut on that stuff. By the way, I need Jamar Chase to go 70 and a half receiving yards, so 71 receiving yards tonight, and get another 60 on top of that.
oh, I gotta believe he will.
He's at 22 right now, so it's second half. I don't know. It's not looking good, but that guy, one good catch and we're there. So, and I
Yeah,
got that game on behind me. I just got it turned down real
uh,
quiet. So,
kind of turn there. Yeah, so are we gonna wrap around to some golf conversation
yeah,
here at the end?
let's get into
Cool.
the live right now. You know, I don't know if you want to start with John Rahm and what he's got to say about the Ryder Cup and I mean his rumor of leaving and he's not leaving and all this. I love it. I love it.
I I do too. Because it never stops. It's like a gossip magazine. But he said he appears to be a PGA Tour guy. There was rumor that he was gonna leave. I, I don't know. I right now he's a PGA Tour guy. That's the best we can say at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have the feeling of Cam Smith in the sense that when he was playing in the FedEx Cup playoffs, it was like, okay, but everybody knows he's leaving. I don't get that with John Rahm. But he did have this to say recently. He said the Ryder Cup is not the PGA Tour and the European Tour against Live. It's Europe versus the US, period. And so right now you've got a bunch of Live guys who aren't like qualified. They can't qualify for the team. So like the US is missing Bryson and DJ, and the European team. Okay, I don't even know who are they?
Ian
Everyone
Poulter,
who.
come on.
Okay, he's like 50. He doesn't count. But that's what I'm saying. So like they're missing a couple of guys from that team. Should they? His argument is no. Um, and when you put it in those terms, and this is something I can't believe I missed, but he's right. It makes the PGA Tour look super whiny and super petty. At least
100%.
that's kind of my perspective.
Like I was just scrolling through Twitter here and I seen this tweet by Golf Digest. And it says, "Let's hear your prediction. Who will finish 2023 as world number 1?" And all it has is PGA Tour guys. It's like you're missing
Yeah.
Cameron Smith.
I know who's the number two player in the world. He could
Like
so easily be number one.
you're missing a big piece of this puzzle. So like world number 1, are they really world number 1 when you're only letting you know what I mean? It's just contradictive. You know what I mean? World number 1. Well, you're not playing with the best golfers in the world, so can we call it world number 1 or can we call it PGA Tour number 1?
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because PGA Tour number one already has the FedEx Cup leader, right? Like that would be PGA Tour number one.
Right.
Um, but to to Ram's point, this is where I think it's tricky because what if you like over the next couple of years, you got into the U.S. Open and you won the U.S. Open. You played in a couple of tournaments and suddenly it's like, listen, this Brett Relander, he's not part of the PGA Tour. He's just a really, really, really good pro. Um, can you play on the US team then? I don't know.
I'm not established. I mean, you win one tournament. Isn't it like if like treat it like a majors? Like the Masters, they have like the amateur, but they can't like win it, right?
Hmm.
There's some sort of ruling there too because they're not established. So I
Well,
mean, you could
so
treat it like that,
they can't accept money. Technically, they could win.
right?
It just they wouldn't be able to accept the money because they don't have professional status. But it just it seems that the PGA Tour is petty, and what we're seeing with the President's Cup, I feel like is the same thing because that actually is sanctioned by the PGA Tour. The President's Cup is because I feel like they were like, "Hey, we want a piece of this pie, this Ryder Cup pie, this team competition, this play for your country, play for for the American sake, and then the international squad play for the pride of the others on your team. We want a piece of that pie." So they created the President's Cup, and it just has not taken off like the Ryder Cup has. But I also heard this, which is interesting. The PGA Tour is really young by comparison. It just hasn't been around for as long as the Ryder Cup. But I just get the feeling that through all of this, the PGA Tour, regardless of that, is just being petty. It's just kind of the way I'm viewing it, and I'm siding with Rahm in this case over like Rory, who's like they should never be able to play, should be banned, and like Jay Monahan and whatever. Like it's frustrating.
Yeah, yeah. Those guys are something else, you know. So
To that point, though, I'm gonna kind of transition here to this MENA tour
yes, that's where I
that
was just going. I was just looking this up. So MENA Tour, for those who don't know, is a golf tour that started in 2011 in the Middle East and North Africa.
okay, it,
Where are we
it
going
did,
with this?
it did. So this is the tour that
That they're
live
piggybacking off.
right. They're hitching their wagon to this MENA tour. The MENA tour didn't exist March 2nd through the 4th of 2020. They had a tournament in Jordan, country of Jordan.
Nice place, I hear.
Um, ugh, I don't know about that. And then their next event, May 2nd to May 5th of 2022. COVID wiped them off the map. Like they didn't exist for over 2 years. And this is the tour that Liv has decided to hitch their wagon to. It's just as petty as I think the PGA Tour is being, I think the level of pettiness here is matched by Liv.
No way. They're trying to give their guys an opportunity at world rankings. This is the
Okay.
only route they have.
But I don't think it is because they were playing Asian Tour events.
So you don't think that they approach the Asian tour like, hey, guys, I'd like to hitch onto this?
That's where I'm confused because it seems to me that it's like a all right, we're gonna take over. We're gonna come in. We're gonna disrupt pro golf as we know it. We're gonna pull some big names. We're gonna give you lots of money. It's gonna be like one big party. It's golf but louder. All this stuff, right? And then the governing bodies were like, yeah, but what about world golf rankings? And then the Live Tour was like, oh shit, we don't have a plan for that. MENA Tour. They need someone. They need money. Let's give it to, like it just seems like they didn't have the foresight to plan for something as obvious as world golf rankings for the best
No, no,
players in the
no, no,
world.
no, no. Because, dude, they couldn't foresee what the PGA Tour and the majors and all these different, the different tours were going to do to these guys. Like, yeah, they probably thought that it was going to happen, but they even filed lawsuits and stuff like that saying, like, hey, this isn't fair. You can't do this. We're creating a tour and now you won't let us. I mean, it's segregation in the golf world. It's modern day segregation. It's the XFL, USFL, they come out in the NFL. It's two different leagues, but to not allow people to sign from the USFL into the NFL or the NFL into the USFL because they own the rights to them people, it's just not right.
Well, and that's where I think this lawsuit that is, although a lot of names have dropped out of the lawsuit. Phil pulled his name from the lawsuit. I don't know what to think about the lawsuit. My thought, like long term, or what their thought is, but it makes sense to me that as individual contractors, they play in the PGA Tour. It's not as though they get the Yellowstone brand. And it's like, you've seen the show Yellowstone, where, the guys who get the brand, they're
Mm-hmm.
like, they're like in. They,
There's no
Tiger
getting
doesn't
out.
have a Tiger doesn't have a brand on his chest somewhere. He wasn't burned in there. That's not what it is. In theory, they can go play wherever they want, and I'm sure that's what Norman was thinking, was we can just pull these guys, and there's really nothing the PGA Tour can do. It doesn't seem like the PGA Tour views it that way, and that's why we're getting these lawsuits. But it's also interesting to look at the guys who like rescinded their memberships before they or like resigned from the tour before they committed to live, so they couldn't be suspended. Uh, and the guys who, like we're going to talk about in just a minute here, Chachara, who left college and went straight to live. He's never been a member of the PGA Tour, so he can't be banned. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays itself out. There's just so many balls in the air right now with this. I'm interested to see what the next year and a half holds.
Okay, so you got on the set list here, you got Tom Kim and
And this Eugenio
Yeah,
Chachara.
Chachara here. So
Yeah. So we know what Tom Kim was. Like
is
is. Like coming out of the Ryder Cup, not the Ryder Cup, the President's Cup. He was like the fireball. He was the almost the golden boy of the Ryder Cup, even though they had lost. They loved his energy, they loved his enthusiasm, his sort of youthful excitement. He'd had himself a month previous to the President's Cup. He like won, took seventh, uh, made a cut at the Open. Like it was a great month. Um, and then he goes there and does well. And then he wins today at Shriners. And I was just kind of scrolling Twitter before we popped on here, and people are talking like protect this guy at all costs. He's the star that the PGA Tour needs. All of these things, which maybe he is. He's the second youngest player ever to get to two wins. He got to two wins at a younger age than Tiger Woods did. Um, he's 20 years and I think it's 3 months, and Tiger was 21 years old. So he's on a heck of a trajectory. I'm not comparing him to Tiger. I'm just saying like he's got a lot of wins young, which is something. And he's the star that the PGA Tour needs. My retort to that is this Chachara dude was a college stud and he chose live. Other college studs, Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa. These are the guys who are the stars on the PGA Tour right now. This Chachara is a guy that the PGA Tour lost, and they won on the very same day. So we can't say that Tom Kim is the star that the PGA Tour needs. He's going to be the next young star because there's no reason it couldn't be Chachara. You know what I mean? They're both young. They both have the possibility to be great. So it's just interesting that that happened on the same day that we want to try to like crown Tom Kim.
I'm. I was looking at the Shriner, top 20 guys. South Korea's
Hmm.
making a run here. They're gonna take over the PGA Tour.
Right. And if you want more on that, go to our last episode.
Right.
We talked a little bit about this. I feel like we were ahead of the curve on that one.
Matthew Neesmith,
Who? Yeah, right.
Tom Tom Hodge.
Okay. First of all,
Yeah,
Tom
yeah,
Hoagie.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And he's a Minnesota guy. Well, a Fargo guy. So we'll
Mito
claim him.
Pereira.
Mito Pereira. He was on the President's Cup team.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, here's a
He
name I
almost
know. Jason Day.
he had a heck of a back nine today. I think he was like 9 under on the back nine or something.
A Maverick McNeely.
Yeah.
I know that name.
But look who
Adam
took second.
Adam Hadwin.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you should. I would expect one of the top world ranking golfers in the world per the PGA Tour to at least crack the top five.
Okay, also, um, click on his. So you don't know what happened.
No, it just
Okay,
says Tom
so
Kim secures victory with wild finish.
perfect. So
Um,
can you click on scorecards? Can you see like the hole by hole?
yes.
Go to Cantlay and
Okay.
just look at his back nine. I'm excited to like, I want your raw reaction here to the back
Oh
nine.
my god, dude. Oh, a tr- a triple to lose the lead. Triple because what was the win
I
was
wanted
24 and he was 21. So yeah, I mean they would have went to a playoff at
He
least.
was tied for the lead, but he made triple bogey. I don't know. Just crazy.
So one here and then two into the water.
Yeah.
Oh, and then four. What the frick, dude? Wow, unreal. And he went par birdie par on that hole previously.
It's just so tough to
It's a
take.
conspiracy, man. They needed Tom Kim to win. Just kidding.
It's a conspiracy, so they pushed out Cantlay. I
Yeah.
don't think so. I think they're fine with Cantlay winning. I think they like Patrick Cantlay. I think if it was uh, James Naismith, uh, no, he's the guy who invented basketball. What's this guy's name? Neesmith?
I got nothing. I got nothing.
I think it's Matthew Naismith. If Matthew Naismith
He looks
were,
like he should be on the pro bass tournament. Like he should be fishing.
yeah, doesn't look like a golfer, put it that way. So anyway, I'm just if we want Tom Kim to be if we want to crown him, I guess. But Chichar's right there, winning out on live. So we'll I don't think we can say that one guy stands out above another at this point. And that's just, it leaves us again just speechless at, I don't know what to say about Live versus PGA Tour yet. I just don't know what to say. So much more needs to play out before something definitive can be said if one's going to rise above the other because they're equally competitive at this point. And we got to see what the majors decide next year. That's going to be a massive turning point.
All right. So you had this video you wanted me to play here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I played the Lehman course
We got
up
about
at
five.
Craguns.
We got about 5 minutes here.
Okay, so go ahead and play just the first part of this clip. And as soon as so it's the clip of Remember the Titans where Herman Boone walks in to the field.
Yeah, this
And
is
as
my
soon as the school
sanctuary
board
right here.
member or the president of the board or whatever comes in and
All this hatred
stops
and
him, you can
turmoil
stop the clip.
swirling
But go
around us,
ahead.
but this is always right. Struggle.
So you don't want the speech part where him
Just
start
him,
talking.
yeah, no, let him start talking where he talks about how much he loves the game.
Okay.
Around us, but this is always right. Struggle. Survival. Victory and defeat. It's just a game, Doc.
It's just a game, Doc.
I love it.
I love it.
Coach, I'm afraid I put you into a no-win situation.
Okay, you can probably
I
pause.
just found out the board didn't even.
I put you in a no-win situation.
Yeah,
That's where
so
we ended.
you know the clip, you know the movie.
Oh yeah.
Um, that feeling that Herman Boone has right then and there about football is what the Lehman course brought out in me about golf. Like it makes you love the game.
Oh
Like
yeah.
it's you can go play. This isn't a dog on Riverwood, or Elk River Golf Course or any number of courses around here, right? Because I love golf and I'm going to play golf no matter what. But man, there was just something about the Lehman course that just absolutely stood out for me. Um, so up at Craguns, they're doing a whole redo. They had two courses. They had 36 holes. They're, honestly, I can't even keep it straight. They're ripping it all up. They're gonna have 45 holes. And Tom Lehman came in and just well, sort of redid and added to make 18, a new 18. And it opened September 1, and it's just been packed, I guess, ever since. It's only been open for 5 weeks, which is interesting to me that they even did that in the first place. Opening it this fall. Why not just wait till spring? But they could, I suppose, build some anticipation. I don't know. So it was great. It was sort of a combination and a little bit of a redo of a course that already existed. I want to say it was like the Bobbies, because they had Bobbies and Dutch, and I think it was an addition, a little bit of an addition to one of those 18 holes. But they went out into some new land, created a bunch of new holes, and it's just big. It's just everything is big. The fairways are huge. You can't miss them. But I did. But you shouldn't miss them. And because it's so new, the land needed the ground literally needed time to mature. Like it was the grass was not all the way in. It made it hard to kind of get after a ball. If you can picture like a tight lie around a green, everything sort of felt that way. But just the ground movements and what you saw, like we're sort of on a couple holes, we're sort of perched up, right? And so you can't even see the course behind it because there's just a drop off down to a lake. So it looks like the course it just like ends out of the sky because all you can see is the horizon with some trees back there. It's so cool. And here's what made it tough because, like I said, the fairways were huge. I was driving back last night. I'm on Highway 10, coming down. Well, I wasn't far from the former sugar daddies. We'll put it that way. And I sort of came up with this analogy for why it's great. Let's say you're on Highway 10 heading east, right? You got 2 lanes going east, 2 lanes coming
You got
west.
a minute here, bub.
I'm gonna get there. Let me get there. Median in the middle. You got to hit a drive down there, 400. It's 450 yards down to a turn lane, an exit. But you hit some massive slice over into the farthest left lane heading west. You're not going to be able to make that exit. You're just not. You got to keep it. You got to keep it right down the right side there. So it just made it. There was bunkers. There was other undulations. I really think in a year and a half, next fall, next spring, it's going to be the place to be. It is. It's going to be so nice. We have to go. We have to go.
And we will. So look for the Minnesota Left-Handers Instagram for those pictures and uploads, right?
Yes, there's a whole story there. I think the story disappears though. I probably got to get those in a post. I'll put them on Facebook and Twitter as well.
All right. Well, that wraps up our episode. We'll see you guys this week, this Wednesday. We're going to do one. We'll do some prize picks and stuff like that and have some fun. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll prioritize the